There's Daniel. And Brian. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
Hi, Sherry.
Okay. Hey, let's get started. I want to welcome everybody to PTR meeting, December 30th, 2025.
September.
Did I say September?
You said December.
Oh gosh, 30th of September, 2025. Thank you, Michelle. You can tell I'm thinking about something else. Do we have any public comment? No comment?
No comments.
Can I ask for a motion of the approval of the minutes from January 21st, 2025?
I make a motion to approve the minutes January 21st and April 15th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's discuss section 6. Let's see, I don't see Mike on the Zoom call. He's traveling in the rain somewhere, having stopped a lake with fish for DNR. But I do have some comments that he sent. Does anybody, do you have any questions about section 6?
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, do you want to go?
No, go ahead, Dennis. I'm finding it here.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the map on the proposed trail. So, which basically is going down Woodland Hills Road and Summit Creek Road, correct?
Most of it, yeah.
Okay, so where does that stand? Is this just a proposal? Is it something members of the city council know about that?
There's a study being done, having to do with particularly Woodland Hills Drive, and it probably is the whole trail. My understanding from a year or so ago, I don't know if it's the same, is that Summit Creek does not want a trail down Summit Creek Drive. That was my understanding a year or so ago. I don't know. Daniel, did you check with, let's see, Ben's not there anymore.
Yeah, so Jeremy Surley has been contracted by the city of Woodland Hills to do that trail study. They've been doing a corridor analysis, and he's been working with your public works director on that for about the last year. And Jeremy actually just reached out to me today. He reviewed chapter 6, gave me a few minor comments that were just semantics, nothing substantive. But he thought that this was all accurate in terms of where they're at on their study, what they're recommending. The council has been involved in that. And I don't know if that study has been, I don't think it's been concluded yet, but
No, I don't. I've talked to Jeremy too.
Okay, yeah, he's been actively working with the city of Woodland Hills, and this is the route that they're taking. However, the exact configuration, which side of the street, how much right of way they need, what width of the trail, the type of trail surface, those kind of questions haven't fully been answered yet. Those are the things that they're working through, not necessarily which streets it's going to go on. So that's my understanding, is that the streets have been determined. So this plan reflects that. I made sure not to put in any sort of information about the exact width of the trail or which side of the street it's on or exactly what service type it's going to have, because those are the things that they still have to hash out.
Do you think maybe it's a good idea with the map that's in the general plan in chapter 6 to say that this is a study that's being worked on, rather than this is it? I mean, I understand what a general plan is. It's kind of our wish list for for the city.
Mhm.
It's nothing that we're actually doing. It's what we'd like to do. So
Mhm.
just your thoughts on that.
So you've got proposed trail down there, so that doesn't mean it's,
Right. So it says proposed trail on that map, and then if you go down to icon number 3, which is on page 68 or PDF page, I don't know what it is, PDF page 6. Woodland Hills City Trails, that is that third icon, and that's a paragraph right there that talks about the study.
yeah, maybe that one thing should be not planned, but proposed. Yeah, I've got some input on this. I, number one, I like the idea of having a trail along 11,200 south. That can be done very quickly and easily because it's flat and there's plenty of right of way there. And it would be incredible if we could work with the city of Elk Ridge and Salem. Because we could get a full trail, I mean, that goes in with the Bonneville Trail, I believe, but we could quickly get a trail that would hook up with the Salem Trail that's now operational that goes into Payson.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's mentioned in here.
Is
I'm
it?
trying to see where exactly it is.
Yeah, it's icon number 2, the 11,200 South Trail.
Okay,
And that is on the general plan for both cities, well, for all 3 cities, as well
Right.
as a plan that MAG is aware of and supporting. And I believe that's is that a county road, but then the county is supportive as well. I'd have to-
Well, that's also gonna be widened. Woodland
Correct.
Hills Drive and that 11,200 are gonna be 4 lanes, is my understanding,
Yeah,
but maybe
and
not
it's-
for 5 years.
And it's already in the cross section, so that the cross section
Yeah.
will include a trail. Now, the trail has already been planned kind of on both sides of that road, so I don't know if both sides are going to have a full trail, and that's something that those cities are going to need to work out, because Elk Ridge has started a trail and Woodland Hills has started a trail, but the intention is that there will be a trail on that full length.
I like that.
And it would go all the way over to the Lower Canyon Parkway and down there and connect to Salem Canal Road, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice to work with Elk Ridge at the same time and get them to put the trail in through the Elk Ridge and then connect it up down with the, is that called the Payson Trail or something? But there's a real nice trailhead now with restrooms and,
Right, on the corner
Oh,
of Salem
where the school
Canal
is?
and Lower Canyon
Yep.
Parkway,
Yeah,
right.
brand new.
I don't know where the trails are though, there's no signs.
They're right there. They're there already. The one that comes along Salem Canal Road, crosses over Lower Canyon Parkway
Okay.
and goes into Payson, on that, what road is that?
Salem Canal
Is it
Road.
Salem Canal Road? Does it turn into something else after it crosses Lower Canyon Parkway? Whatever that road is.
Yeah, whatever that road
Is it
is.
the dirt
Yeah.
road along the canal?
No,
Because that
it's,
says no trespassing.
yeah, no, it's a regular.
It goes the road goes all the way to Salem Park. But the trail stops, doesn't go all the way. It stops before you make
The
the grade
curve kind of
uphill.
around
Yeah.
the corner into
Now,
Payson.
I don't know what their plan is with that, but
Yeah,
I just point out that you could probably get this area completed pretty quick unless there is gonna be a 4-lane road change there. But
Now,
how long that's gonna take,
so my question is, or it's not a question, but just an opinion, I guess. So I've walked this, I love a trail, just like anybody else. But that, coming up that Summit Creek, that's just not a leisurely trail. And all these other trails, the Bonneville, all that, those are leisurely trails that people, aren't huffing and puffing to get up and down. So so coming up through Woodland Hills is a different kind of a trail. And then I'm just thinking, after all of the work that all the new homes in Summit Creek, for instance, have had to put in the ditch with the rocks and all that. And that was very important to the city,
That's
that
right.
gets done. I don't know how or where you would be putting those trails.
I think that was the reason for my memory a year ago that Summit Creek in general did not want a trail going down Summit
Yeah.
Creek Drive because
And the
of the
homes,
drainage ditch.
the homes are closer to the road there too, and so that's, I personally don't think it's a great place for a trail.
Well,
I mean,
well,
Woodland Hills Drive is pretty steep.
Woodland Hills
But-
Drive is gonna be a push. And my understanding from Jeremy and from members of the city council, having attended previous meetings, is they're looking at Woodland Hills Drive primarily for drainage, to be able to put drainage down there. Now, a trail, if you were to come down Woodland Hills Drive on the curve by the city center, and if you were on the left-hand side of the road going down, it's way too dangerous. Way too dangerous.
Yeah,
That curve is way too
absolutely.
sharp. As far as going down on your bike, you're definitely gonna get wobble because it's so steep, making it dangerous. If you had the trail on the right, and Daniel, this is where I would ask you on why trails? Why trails? It says trails are simple, cost-effective, and publicly supported. I would take out cost-effective because the cost to the city, if they do go down Woodland Hills Drive, is going to be pretty phenomenal in trying to get easements off of that right-hand side from
I
the people
think-
that own the lots.
I think they actually have enough right of way.
On where?
Along Woodland Hills Drive, I think there are just a few little sections where they would need to purchase easements. Because the
Okay.
land goes, the land that's the right of way is not just the pavement. It's not just the asphalt, right?
Correct.
It says, what, 64 foot? I'm going off memory here, but the right of way width is much wider
Uh-huh.
and they could accommodate it within it. But
Well, and I think
there
too,
would
the
need to be some
city,
changes. So you are right.
the city also in terms of cost, depending on what substance the trail is made out of, is the city gonna have to plow it if it's asphalt so that no one slips and falls on ice trying to go down the trail? Is it only gonna be open certain months of the year? And then how do you enforce that? So those are my comments. I think cost effective maybe is a big stretch in why trails.
Phone just died.
You wanna share mine?
This is so well done, though.
Yes,
Yeah, I
it
like it.
really is.
So well done.
Yeah, one other thing is that just what if we have the Davis property and the undeveloped property down at the bottom of Woodland Hills?
Mhm.
There's no contractor plan, no subdivision plan yet. Eventually there will be. That property will eventually be developed. How soon, who knows? Maybe not in my lifetime, but
No, I've had a conversation with Larry over a Zoom call for planning last week or
Uh-huh.
2 weeks ago. And Larry said he wanted to know where the switchbacks were because he would like to connect from Three Bridges into the switchbacks. Now, that's verbal, nothing in writing by any means, but he would like to do that.
that would be interesting.
I'm sorry, I should update you guys when I have these conversations with people.
What?
I apologize.
So Larry is talking about what if we connected the Switchback Trail, which would be interesting. And difficult. to
Well, if you
connect.
went down the
Um,
Broad Hollow side and anyway,
Down Sky Lake.
yeah. And then you could connect in easily.
So what about a trail along the bottom of the hill, back in where the hill stops on Davis property, and do a trail along there over to Woodland Hills Drive as part of a development, like they've done
Yeah.
over at Elk Ridge. You know, they developed a park and a trail area before that
Mm.
development went in. Of course, theirs is a wide park. We wouldn't have to go that wide. I've talked to Ben Hilliard about that. He thought it would be a good idea because it could be wide enough to put a fire truck down there.
Right.
And if it was something that was done with developers, it could just be built into the development. Say, if you're gonna develop this, your development needs to have a trail and
Yeah, this is our city plan and
here's our city plan, and this is what we'd like to do. That could connect up into Three Bridges with their trail system,
mhm. Yeah, I love that idea.
you know, and.
Well, this is all stuff kind of for the future.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
What Daniel's asking us for here is our comments. When are you going before planning, Daniel? 10th?
Wait, I'm going to the Community Development Committee next week, like the committee that's working through this. And then Planning Commission is October 14th, 15th, whatever it is, mid-October.
Okay. A few comments about the switchbacks. It'd be great if PTR could, like you say in trail information, PTR committees should regularly review. Okay, that's all well and good, but as far as doing anything about it, the switchback trails have never been maintained by the city since they were in existence. It says in the last general plan, they're supposed to be maintained by the city, but again, it's a wish list. As far as communicating seasonal closures and trail conditions, how do you enforce this? I mean, there's,
So this isn't about enforcement. This is about being able to channel and focus efforts. So this would be, hey, PTR committee, be really good for you to have a goal to spearhead this and make sure that when that trail's muddy and ATVs or mountain bikes are going to really damage the tread because that tread
they
is,
already have,
yeah,
they
right.
already have.
But when it's really muddy in May after a big storm, to go on Facebook and put a post and say, hey, everyone, the Switchback Trail is really muddy right now. Please wait to use it until it's dried in a few more days, right? So people are aware. Some people aren't aware that when you go on a mountain bike on a muddy trail, the rutting that you cause can create real damage to that trail tread. Some people don't even think about it. So the public awareness campaign, that's definitely part of this, right? To
Well,
prevent
maybe
the
putting it
harm
on
before it
all
happens.
trails, because I believe that more people outside the city use it than in the city.
Sure, yeah, and you could put signage on the trail. You could put a little paper that, laminated paper that's just taped right up there that says trail closed for next 72 hours, to allow it to dry or, whatever it is. You can look at how some other cities do it. But monitoring online is really helpful. Sometimes you'll see updates on trail forks and all trails where people have gone and they posted new GPX files that lead people off trail or further along than you'd like them to go, or people create trails that aren't legal and they post them online, and next thing you know, you have a horde of people coming, and those websites will respond. If you are official city capacity and you reach out to them, And they know that you're from the city, so it'd probably be somebody who has a city website to contact, or sorry, a city email address to contact them and let them know, hey, there's this change that needs to occur on this trail. They are responsive to that. You can also
Okay,
go
well,
and
where
post
this
updates.
authority rests right now is with the mayor. The mayor is the only one that can close the trail.
Oh, okay, but updating things online, that is something any one of you could do.
Okay.
So that's
Got your permission,
yeah,
but-
trail information online. I would suggest that you guys spearhead that. Yeah, maybe it's the mayor who actually has the authority to close the trail, but you guys could be the ones to let the mayor know about the change in the trail condition.
Okay. I liked your idea about, let's see, what was it called? Monitoring, trail usage.
Mhm.
How do we do that, with cameras or what?
Yeah, you can get a basic trail counter.
Because
that you
right now
can
we've got
install.
$1,500 we can spend.
Mm,
But I don't know how we'd hook up to Wi-Fi because of where the trail is.
yeah, I don't know.
Unless we did it maybe at the top by the water tanks, but not everybody accesses that way. The majority of hikers go through private property to get to the
Yeah.
trail.
So you put the trail counter just connected to some tree further up, but I would only use your money for that if you have a purpose for collecting that data. So if you're going to be
Yeah.
applying for a grant for maintenance or something, it would be really good to be able to uh, provide data about trail usage in order to bolster your grant application. But if there's no reason to collect the data, then I don't know that you need to spend money on it. But if you have money available and it's a curiosity, or you want to have a longitudinal study to show trail usage over time, if you're going to make some improvements and you want to show a before and after, you could do a trail counter now, go do the improvements, and then do a trail counter later. But just know that that resource is out there, and they are getting more and more and more affordable and easy to operate.
Well, I do know that Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant,
Mhm.
I'd have to look into it again, but when we got one from them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it does not give you funds for maintenance.
Mhm.
So we'd have to look at other avenues.
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
Because the city can't get equipment up there, and I think the volunteers kind of feel like, hey, I'm doing this again, I just did this. You know, it's very labor intensive to do it by hand. I'm not trying to be negative, this is the way it is right now.
Mhm. Yeah, and in terms of maintenance, I think when you have it as an annual event that's scheduled, people know in advance, they anticipate it. It's periodic, right? As opposed to trying to get everyone to go do one thing at once where it's overkill. You can chip away and just do a little bit each year and hopefully stay on top of it somewhat. So I don't know, I guess start where you are, right?
Okay.
Trail maintenance up there wasn't too bad. The berms are still there, so you have the water bars, pushing water off the trail, and those are still there. There is definitely some runoff that occurs. There's a fall line trail that occurs in various spots, and so those would be good to try to address sooner rather than later before it causes deeper rutting.
Those are the ones that go down to my property. I'm losing my mountainside.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
I mean
I
there
hear
are
you on the
some.
maintenance.
Yeah, there are some grants out there, but a lot of communities where you just have the one trail like this. If you did an annual trails day and you teamed up, especially with some partner who can come in and provide some level of expertise, but you provide a lot of the manpower, you could get a lot done.
Okay. Any suggestions on who we could go to that would provide this expertise? I mean, I've looked online at them and how you create the berm and or the water bar. A lot of them show equipment doing this job, not pick and shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suggestions?
Man, I remember seeing posts this summer from some of the groups that were looking for projects. I don't know off the top of my head, but there are several organizations here in the state of Utah.
Okay,
I'd have to look into that a little bit more.
okay, I'll look into it, or we can all look into it as well under trail
I'll make
maintenance.
a note.
Michelle, do you have any other comments on the document itself?
No, I'm re-looking over it again. I thought it was great.
So did I.
Very informative, very well done. I really, from just the map, just wondering how that would work going through, going up those steeper hills and stuff. You know what would have been really great, because it would have been really great to have a little bit of land and made the trails, of course, early on. Because the beautiful part to be walking about is like just along Eagle's Nest, all those streets around there. That would have been really nice, but I don't know, people that walk those streets and they're pretty level up there. Once you get up to the top of Woodland Hills, everything's pretty level. It's Woodland Hills Drive and Summit Creek coming up is where I just don't know if we'd get a lot of walkers.
We walk a loop of Homestead,
Mm-hmm.
and it has just enough grade that
Yeah.
it's good. So, I'm happy with walking some of the streets.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But there's no place like the trail.
There's
Yes,
no place like a trail.
yes.
Yeah.
Trails are good.
Yep. I liked all your reasoning, Daniel, for trails. Like Michelle said, this is so well thought out and put together, and
Yes, a lot of
we
work went into this.
appreciate everything that you've
It's
done. to
nice,
help
very
us.
good. Beautiful.
Hey, Mike. Do you have any questions for us on anything?
Wait, do I have any questions?
Yeah.
Not, well, okay. One thing that Severin brought up, he sent me an email. He had concerns that the trails plan is a little bit too specific when it relates to trail maintenance and whatnot. I see his concern. The general plan is a long-term visioning document that
Right.
is to be more general. Now, in this case, when we're working with a city that only has really effectively one hiking trail, right? There are a couple other little trails in town, but the switchbacks is your one hiking trail. I went into a little bit more specificity because it doesn't make a lot of sense to create a separate trails plan, right? I thought you guys aren't going to have a separate trails plan, so some of the details that maybe you'd find more in a trails plan and not in a general plan, I included in here. However, if the planning commission and city council want me to pare that down somewhat, I'm happy to do so, but then you wouldn't have these details anywhere unless you had a separate trails plan document, which I don't know. So either your recommendation would be, hey, let's just keep it as is. We like the specificity since there's really just the one trail we're analyzing. Or if you'd like, we could pull it out and keep it more broad, and I could honestly probably just throw all those details in a 1 or 2 page document, and that could be your trails plan. But I don't know. I think it's good as is, but I wanted to know your sentiment on including specifics in here. Like we have the trail width and some of the signage things, right? That does go into a more site specific analysis. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm good with having it the way that it is currently. How do you feel, Michelle and Dennis?
So which details do they feel it's,
He didn't call any out specifically, but I'm thinking, for example, I mentioned that the trail has sufficient tread to support motorized vehicles up to 50 inches, or that a healthy trail tread is typically designed with a slight outslope, yada, 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 yada. I go into how to design proper trail tread. We talk about the trail head and some of the signage, and I have specific, photos about what's up there right now in terms of signage and how to do signage with hazards and that sort of thing. And that's fine to have in a general plan. However, a lot of general plans, if this were like Provo City, for example, their general plan wouldn't go into this granular detail on each trail because they have a lot of trails. We would have our general big picture policies toward trails, and then we'd have a separate trails plan.
I think we ought to pare it down a little bit so it isn't as granular. Because the planning commission, that they could get off in the weeds.
Oh, and maybe say, let's not do it because they're seeing the details too early.
Right, yeah, or, oh, we could never do that. We could never have that type of trail here. Let's make it friendly for them so they can put it into their overall plan and feel good about it.
Okay.
But let's take the stuff that you put, and I think we need to have that as a document for us,
I have
so that if
to-
something happens and they say, well,
yes.
let's do this trail, we don't have to revisit that.
Right, right.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
I can do
think
that.
too, Daniel, one thing is if there's some way, I'm looking for the exact wording of where the trails are gonna go, or that the study is looking at to the citizens of Summit Creek. It's not that we don't want to be offensive. I don't mean it that way, but I know the study's looking at it, but whether or not that's feasible, if there's some way that you can tweak this Woodland Hills City Trail to begin a study. Yeah, let's see. You currently have, trail along Woodland Hills Drive, West Loafer Drive, and Summit Creek Drive. In 2025, the city began to study to examine the ability and costs of constructing this trail. Somehow put in there, Summit Creek's its own entity. Yes, they're part of Woodland Hills, but I see where you have and explores additional necessary steps to secure.
Mhm.
I don't know.
We need to be really careful about that, like
Yes, we
you're
do.
talking about. I don't live there, you live there, but I drive down there to go to school or to go to church, or if I need to go to Payson. And in my mind, I just don't think that would be a wise thing to get into a discussion about doing. The houses are closer together and closer to the roads, and I don't see us. That would be getting into the weeds,
Yeah, I just don't see where
right?
well, logistically, I don't see where the trail would go.
Yeah, logistically, there's just not a place for it. So I just wonder if we ought to pull that off of that.
Well, that's
plan.
what the study is examining.
Oh, examining,
I'm
okay,
just-
good.
I'm just trying to think of a way to word this, Daniel, where everybody doesn't get all excited that the trail is gonna go down Summit Creek
Yeah,
Drive or Woodland Hills Drive.
Make sure that this is, it isn't even a proposal, it's a discussion exploration stage right now, right?
Yes, yes.
Is there a way you could word it that way? And
Yeah,
could you put a trail from Summit Creek Drive to Woodland Hills Drive along the edge of the road there.
So sorry, where?
It goes to the
On 11-200, there already shows one there. But are
right,
you
no,
talking
I'm
about up
talking
the
about
hill?
Eagle's Nest.
up at the edge of the hill.
Yeah. But like right now, that's private property.
Right now it's private property, but that's gonna be developed, and maybe that could be worded as just a proposal for when, you know, development,
For future development.
for future development. It's not,
The Summit Creek is proposing their, I call it phase two. If everything right now is phase one, that we could access, they could give us some land like Don Meekum did when he donated the park and the trail that goes up and the easement and, you know, that was thought out in the development agreement. The current development agreement that we have with Summit Creek, I don't think even addresses phase two.
so,
But that is a good thing to put in it that would access, you could come, if you're gonna come up Woodland Hills Drive, go around Loafer, go down Eagle's Nest, and that might even feed into, I haven't seen the plans, but it might even feed into, what's that called, Loafer Mountain Road, or the one that goes up to the HOA.
Oh,
Just something for the future, but just word this, that this is a study, feasibility study.
yeah, this is a feasibility study.
Yeah, on that map, I could change the color of it and just put it as feasibility study.
That'd be
That'd be
great.
awesome.
Okay.
You know, the trail down at the bottom that I suggested is a feasible, to put in the feasibility study, could also be a trail / fire break road or something. I don't know what they would call that, but that's what Ben Hilliard suggested when I discussed that with him. I met him down in that area and we looked at it and discussed it. It would be great to have that wide enough so we get a fire truck in there.
I
So the
hope all
most,
this was helpful, Daniel.
yeah, the most important part of the plan are the goals at the end. So I did add one goal just as you were talking. So if you go to goal 1, recreation and trails goal, expand and enhance the city's trail network. In B, it says strengthen regional trail connections. I think we should add a 4th goal. So the first of those goals, of those goals, the first one is to coordinate with MAG, Elk Ridge, Salem about the 11-200 South Trail. The second one is to support the regional efforts on Bonneville Shoreline Trail to bring that closer so that way it can connect in. The third one is exploring potential for a trail connection that would connect into the Nebo Loop system or other, DNR or federal, partnerships to expand that trail, right? Switchbacks. And then a fourth one, I think, would be something like explore opportunities for trail connections through new growth areas. We won't call out individual properties specifically. I don't want to put private property owners on alert that like we're targeting their property or that sort of thing.
right.
But for that, what do we want to call it? North side of town, the lower fields. Like you're saying, rather than have it go through the existing right of way where the street narrows and you already have homes built and it is pretty steep, if you could bring it and have the trail go a little bit more of a west to east alignment than a due north alignment, and have it go at an angle so it goes down at a much slower grade through that new development area, you could pull it out of Summit Creek Drive and have it go east toward like Willow Reed Road, somewhere further along on the east portion of 11-200 South. And that way it's not quite as steep and you avoid the existing development area, right? But you'd have to look at the proposals that are brought for that property at a future date. And I think that would be a good alignment. Be less steep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be more organic, right? Rather than trying to like fit it through a narrow right of way that's already built out. Let's bring it into something that is designed to accommodate the trail. So I think that would be great if the opportunity arises.
Okay.
So yeah, I think goal 4, if that works, I'll add that goal in there.
Well, and on 11-200 as well, the zoning has been changed down there, and it has been suggested that whoever is going to develop down there, that we have a development agreement and have trails running through.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it would be easier to have it on, well, I don't know, the directions, on the church side of 11-200 than the other side, where
Yes.
people already have property and and it's already been developed. So if it was on the,
Well, and that's Salem too.
Yeah.
On the right,
yes,
on the
Yes,
left, going towards the Chapel Estate Center is Woodland Hills property.
yeah,
So I think that's a kind of a foregone conclusion
Yeah.
that it would be on the south side, is that the right?
yeah. But like you said, after Elk Ridge, I mean, in front of Elk Ridge, is it, what side of the road is the trail on? East
Right
or
now in
west?
Elk Ridge, they have sidewalks, I think something on the north side of the road, but it doesn't go very far.
Yeah, okay.
Or it may even be dirt right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they're
And
trying
there's
to,
nothing going down Loafer Parkway yet. Oh, coming up by the school, you've got some there, but.
Okay.
You know, if we had a plan in place,
yeah,
then we could go over to Elk Ridge and say, this is what we're doing.
and then they could try and connect with us.
Right.
But that is a good idea, Daniel, about the, what you just said on, making that go across where it's flatter and,
There is something else that I'm sure we don't want to go there, but there are some people that would like to put a cemetery in Woodland Hills.
You have to think about city land and
And
where you put it.
it's, yeah, absolutely. But it would obviously have to go down there because that's the only land they could purchase for
right.
something like that. But I thought, well, that sounded like a pretty good idea. If the city wants to pay some property, they gotta pay for it.
That's right. Anything else, Daniel?
The rest of the goals, do they look good to you?
Yes.
I think the goals are broad enough. I won't modify those, but I will go through, pare back some of the language in the actual text. And yeah, do you want me to throw that in a separate document that you can keep as a just kind of ad hoc trails plan? Is that the
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, put it in another document, just.
Yep. I will do that.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much
This is
for
so
doing
much
all this
work.
work.
Thank you, yes.
Much appreciated.
Oh, you're very welcome.
The whole plan looks fabulous, particularly including the dark sky in your version you submit to planning, because that's what the citizens want. So
Citizens do want that.
I suggest that that be included. I know we have pushback. But there will have to be public comment from public hearing when planning adopts this. And it's their proposal to city council, and then we'll have a public hearing as well. It's not just up to the planning commission.
So is it an accurate statement that your committee supports the dark sky language in the general plan?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I will make sure that that's shared, like I will share that with the planning commission, because The other committee reviewing it also supports it, so I will let them know that both committees would like it to be in the general plan.
Yes,
And planning
sure.
commission can make their own recommendation, but when we
Yep.
go to council, I'll let council know that both committees supported the version with the dark skies.
Okay,
Great.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Well, is that everything for tonight?
I think so. Will you just respond, any comments on the proposed revisions on the ordinance?
The lighting ordinance?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take a closer look at that and get you comments back.
that'd be great. The opinion you got from the ombudsman,
Uh-huh.
was that then sent to the city kind of like right away, like May, whatever, when
Yeah,
you got it?
I immediately sent it to Carrie Malkovich, and
Okay,
I am not sure who all was copied on what she sent out.
I can ask her.
Yeah, you may want to ask her.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're
Jerry, I
welcome.
did not see that until you sent your email. So I can tell you right now, I've actually been talking with all the council members and the mayor. And I believe Carrie's the only one that has seen that. I did
Oh.
forward it on to Ted. I'm waiting for his review of it as well.
Okay,
Great.
thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, have a good night, everyone.
All
Okay.
right.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Brian, you have any comments, suggestions? Mike said he can't vocalize anything. He's been texting me. He's not in favor of closing the trail when it's, what did he say, every snowstorm? It's not so much the snow, but I appreciate that, Mike. It's more rain, I think, than it is, heavy rain or snow melt in the spring. The snow is great, particularly for the snowshoers.
No, I don't really have any thoughts on that, just listening and still haven't formed opinions yet.
Okay, well, I'll get a hold of Carrie because I would like to move this proposed ordinance to planning as soon as possible to get their opinion on it. I know this is something that's been wanting to be done for a while, and we were waiting on the opinion, a legal opinion, and we have one. And I think we need to move forward. Because seeing as that was 5 months ago. So let me know your thoughts, please.
Hey.
You too, Mike. Have a look at that ordinance and let me know what you think. And we'll get it off to planning. Appreciate you guys. All right, do we have any other business?
I don't think so.
Well, I make a motion, we adjourn, but first we need to know when we're gonna meet again.
I don't have a date on that. I guess if we were to come up with a maintenance plan of, we always say October, and last year it snowed in October, and here it is October tomorrow. I don't know if this is something that we can do this year. That, in my opinion, would be the only reason to meet that we have, because we've done the things that we said we were going to work on this year. So,
So do you think something has to be done up there before the snow comes?
I'll go up and take a fresh look. I'm thinking about doing something at the bottom, well, not the bottom of the trail, but where the trail meets my property, kind of before you get to switchback 1 up on Mike Taylor's property, up in there, because it does affect me and Mike greatly. And also Roger Fuller, he owns the lot next to it. So it's, and Tullers, it's everybody at the bottom
Yeah,
where all the
okay,
water goes.
right. Okay.
So, but I will go up and take
Yeah.
a look at the whole trail and take
Yeah, look at
pictures.
all the
and-
water bars, you know, maybe.
Yeah,
if you Want
maybe.
to take a photo of some of them. I was up there this summer and I was surprised how good they looked.
Yeah,
But I think it's something we probably would want to plan to go and do a touch up on them next spring sometime.
when the ground is wet, it makes it much easier too.
Yeah.
You're not digging hard dirt.
If we wait another year, it's gonna be a lot harder, but I think.
Is May or April a better time?
Probably May. I think we had snow in Detroit. Well, I know up by the DNR property in the past. I've hiked up there and on our anniversary, which is May 28th, and I could barely get through where the avalanches come down
Oh, really?
because it
Still?
was slippery and muddy and there was still snow on the trail, but that's DNR property.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that, Brian? Or Mike?
You guys would know better than me, for sure.
Yeah, Mike's the expert on that.
Yep.
Mike, check your email because I emailed that proposal on the lighting ordinance along with the existing ordinance to you. I have to check the date, but it's in your email. It was along
Very good.
with,
Can I ask a question about that? I was
Yep.
was going through those changes. And I actually have them up here. So on section A, you have a section in here that it says lighting for the flags Utah code. And then at the end of that, it says take out red. And the next one says insert red. I'm confused.
yes. I want the red that's in the upper body. That's what we had proposed before, but take that out. And then insert the red. I've got to pull up my document. Let's see.
Why are we taking out? I mean, is it just because Utah code supersedes?
Yeah, we don't need to. Planning keeps telling me to keep it simple, so I'm trying to keep it simple.
I gotcha. Okay, so that, I mean, we have to follow Utah code, so we
Yes,
can't not let people light flags, obviously. So I was
right.
I was curious of that. So that was the
I
only.
think that's the only code pertaining to lighting, something lighting it up, according to Utah, is the flagpoles.
Correct. The other thing that I was kind of curious of that's not here is lighting time restrictions. Which I was
Well,
really
it's in
surprised.
it's in the change. I'm trying to pull up my document now. It's in the change as far as time goes.
Yeah,
We
when-
originally
when-
had it
when-
at 10:30 and
I don't,
the suggestion that I made was to have it at 11 in keeping with the lighting ordinance for city-owned property. That's to be off by 11 currently. Do you
yeah, and
see that in there?
I don't see it. I'm sorry. And oh, wait a minute. There it is. Now it's in the red, the second red section. Okay, I missed it. My bad.
Okay.
So
And do you think we ought to put in that lighting fixtures? This is not appropriate, this is appropriate, that came from Dark Sky as part of the ordinance, just to help people? Or no?
I honestly don't know if that's appropriate or not.
Okay,
In there. So I hate to say that. My only question on this, okay, so my understanding of the dark skies and the research I've done is we're really looking to limit new people coming, new buildings, right? And city-owned property. We're not going to enforce anything on someone who already has something in there, and that's kind of one of
No,
the
we can't.
correct. With the exception, I believe that we might be able to enforce the lighting being turned off. Now that's a discussion that I think should at least be had, because that's kind of getting to the point of where we want to be, right? We want to restrict that upward lighting that is going to cause issues with the dark sky. And I think that's at least a discussion to have. And if we want to look at being able to enforce that, which maybe we can just based on the code, but one of the things that we don't want to put more on the code enforcement officer. But I just something to, it's not necessarily to put in there, but to have that discussion about being able to enforce that part of the code for existing people as well. Does that make
And-
sense? Am I making
Yes, it
sense?
does.
Okay.
Can I get a clarification here? So, not being able to enforce with, existing homes. Does that mean if someone decides they've been there, but they're gonna put new lighting in?
Then they have to adhere to
Then they-
the
okay.
new ordinance.
So already, the
Correct,
lighting
Brian?
already,
I believe so. That would probably take some clarification as well. I know if they're going to do a remodel that's 50% or more, would require them to follow all codes.
Right.
That is law, so we don't have a choice in that. But I really think the turning off at 11. I mean, obviously, like we do with our other codes, we start with information and go from there. But I think it's something that we could possibly enforce. And I think it'd be a good thing to enforce. And just so you're aware, the entire city council is for the dark skies. There are some other discussions we've had on a few things, but as far as a general rule, the entire council and mayor are supportive of the process. Now, I don't necessarily agree that the ombudsman's letter is a legal finding,
Opinion?
but it definitely holds a lot of weight, right? And I appreciate that coming from them. I don't know why they wouldn't give me the information when I requested it. But just so you know, there is a lot of support for this. And
Well, perhaps, Brian, we can, I don't know, can you, if you have to bring it up before the council or whatever, can you send that opinion to our lawyer and ask his opinion? I mean, is that then considered a legal opinion? I thought this was the direction we were going back in May when we made the
Yes.
dark sky presentation,
and that's
we
what
never quite got over the hurdle.
and I had requested a legal opinion and didn't get one. And so I was going other routes with that before paying our lawyers for it. And I can talk with everyone because I've had these discussions recently with everyone. And I can have some talks with them about, we're going to probably need some legal support on this. And we've got, there's funding for legal questions like this available. So it's not going to come out of the PTR's budget at all.
Well, it could,
Yeah,
if
but
we can move this along or put it to bed.
Yeah, we've got some, we've got budget available for it. So I don't think it'll go through there. Again, it takes the whole council to make those kind of decisions. But there is, there's support for it. There's support for it, but no one is for enforcing anything but maybe the lights turning them off at 11 o'clock. No one wants to enforce
No.
that on our current residents. And it's more about
And
the
for the
plan.
most part, it's being done anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
So I did want to give you that because I have taken some time and talked to everybody about this. I'm still waiting on Ted's opinion, but Ted's out right now. I believe he's elk hunting, or he's somewhere anyway. And I'm out of town, so as usual.
Yeah, Ted and I have talked about it as well.
And Wayne listens to Ted. So but
But Wayne listens to everyone.
he does, but he has his own opinions, and I can't sway his opinions, but Ted can.
Okay. Well, appreciate it. If you can get back to us, you've got the thread that has
Yep,
all of
I do.
our emails and text messages on. Just let us know, is within a week sane enough? I'd like to get on planning's agenda. So I have to ask Wayne when that can happen.
Okay. Yeah, let me see what I can find out and go that route. See if we can get a more legal, something that we all feel is a good legal grounding to stand on, because I think that's what it's going to take.
Okay, well, I mean, or if the city council feels that the ombudsman's opinion is a legal opinion, we take it from there and you don't have to spend any money
Yeah.
with our city
No,
attorney.
I think we all agree that it's a fairly good opinion. I just don't know that it's an actual legal. They were necessarily giving us a legal. Most of us are not. Well, the few people I've talked to about it are not quite sure that's fully a legal opinion from the
Okay.
ombudsman that we could actually stand on.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Everybody, for discussion. We had a good discussion tonight, and I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Brian. Good night, Mike.
Good night.
Is it off?